Hello, my name is Peter Parfitt. Welcome to the new Brit workshop, or rather Mrs. Miggin's kitchen will be in the workshop shortly. Now, when I built this kitchen for Mrs. Miggin's, I had a number of challenges to face. Now, each individual unit has to be screwed to the wall so it's secure and it stays in place. But this wall and this wall were not at right angles. And what made it even worse was that this wall was slightly bowed. And so therefore I had to make up a series of spacers. And these spacers went all behind the cupboards here, so that I could then screw the cupboards to the wall against those spacers, thus keeping this front line in a straight line. I also had to make up spacers for the rest of the units just to keep them in place. Now, this all took time. Now, professional kitchen fitters will use a number of different ways of fixing cabinets to a wall. They might, as I've done, use blocks of wood cut to a certain length. They put a hole through the middle and use that as a spacer. But that's rather time consuming because every single block has to be cut to the exact size. And the other way is they might use a variety of different brackets, some of which have got adjustable slots in them in order to fix the units to the wall. Now, behind me here, I've got a pretend unit which I've made. It's a little bit on the small side, but it's there to illustrate what I'm about to show you. Now, with the brackets, the fitter would have to attach the bracket to the backs of the cupboard on either side, and then mark the holes to go in the wall to fix it to the wall, move the cupboard out of the way, fix the bracket to the wall, and then back onto the unit again. And that takes an awful long time. And then along comes the space plug, which is an adjustable block made of plastic, which you can put behind your cabinets. And the way this works is dead simple. You offer your unit up against the wall, you then drill a hole, pop in a raw plug, and then take the space plug, adjust it so it's the right depth, pop the screw through into the plug behind, and then screw it up nice and tight. And that's it, done. And that is rock solid. Now, in case you missed that, I'll do it once more. You drill into the wall, pop in your raw plug, adjust the size of the space plug, pop the screw through into the raw plug, screw it up tight, and away you go. And that's it, job done. Then if when you've got all your units in place, you find you've got to adjust them so they're all in a straight line, well, this is easy too. You loosen off the one that needs to be a little bit further out, and you adjust the space plug behind. And when it's in the position you want it to be, you can then retighten. And that's it. You're then all in line. Now, the space plug comes in two sizes. The one that I've just been using is the XL, and that will range from 45 up to 80 millimeters. There is also the regular, which ranges from 30 to 50 millimeters. What I now want to demonstrate is the sort of problem you come across in modern houses. Now, just imagine this area here is a cross-section through the wall of a modern house, and you've got drywall on this side, and you've got brickwork here, and then there's some little stud partition elements here. And when you're positioning your cupboards, you need to get a firm fixing. Well, one of the easiest ways is to find out where these fixings are. And so let's just imagine this is our situation. We know where this is. And so all we have to do now with the space plug is drill a hole in the appropriate place, get the space plug to the right size, and then using the appropriate type of screw, in this case, because my bits and pieces here are wooden, this is a wood screw. In I go, and then my cupboard is now firmly fixed to this type of wall. And the beauty of the space plug is that it doesn't matter where your cupboard is in relation to the point where you wish to fix. You just drill through at the appropriate point and put the space plug in where you need it. And so it is perfect for this type of situation. And remembering that this is our drywall simulation here, there occasionally might be times when you want to go through the actual inner product here through to the brickwork behind, and you can do that with the space plug system. And what I've set up here is I've drilled a 30mm hole in the board here, and I can then put a space plug all the way through, and it's touching the wall behind. Now, if you then introduced whatever it is you need to fix up against here, you can see that you could even use one space plug on the inside and one on the outside to end up with a system, something like that, for fixing a cabinet all the way through to the wall behind. Now, for this next demonstration, I'm going to pretend that I'm about to put up a coat rack. And the trouble is, again, with drywall, you've got to find a decent fixing. Now, ordinarily, with most drywall applications, you can use screw fittings like these, which screw into the plasterboard fairly tightly, and then you put a screw into the centre. And those are quite strong, but they're not really suitable for heavy loads, particularly when it's going to be knocked around or pulled at quite frequently. And so the first thing I need to do is to drill this 30mm hole through the plasterboard, which is pretty easy to do. It means now that I can pass a space plug through there, and I've started my screw off in this coat rack, and that will stop the space plug from falling down the cavity behind, and I can now screw this into the wall. And there that is, screwed in nice and tight. So imagine I've done the same thing here. And then what one then does is, of course, make sure that you hide those screw holes by putting your screw hooks over them. And then you'll find that's a pretty secure way of putting up a coat rail on this sort of wall. Now, if you've got a tall bookshelf in your house, you've got to make sure that they can't be pulled over by children. And so you may find the space plug is the perfect solution to fixing something like this onto the wall. Now, in every pack of space plugs, you'll find an extra long masonry bit, long enough to go through the back of the cupboard, through the gap, and then through into the wall behind with no problem whatsoever. The 10 packs will have this cheap and cheerful one, and the packs of 50 have a better quality product. Both work equally as well. Now, I've done my best in this short video to give you an introduction to the space plug. Now, these are available throughout the UK, soon throughout Europe as well. Now, I was contacted by the inventor, the guy who's got the patent on these, and he said, would I do a video? And I reminded him, I said, look, I only make videos about products which I'm prepared to recommend to my very best friend. Do you know what? I'm recommending this to you. They are absolutely super duper. Why has nobody thought of this before? I really don't know. It's a super product. It's going to save kitchen fitters a lot of time. No more angle brackets. It's going to save the DIY guy in his modern house with the hollow walls all sorts of anguish, because now you can start putting coat hooks up or whatever else it might be. So I hope this has been of use to you. Thank you very much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.